Hi, hello, and howdy. This is Sheila, and welcome to the Painted Pig Studio. If you watched my last video, and if you didn't, why not? Why would you not? You will recognize this as the Victorian Love Journal. I've worked on it a bit off camera. And truthfully, I'm not into it right now. I'm just not. It's not exciting me. It's not getting my creative juices flowing. So, this is what I've done off camera. As you can see, not a whole lot. I've got Velcro here, and a flip, and a tag, a little smaller tag there, some collage here, and another tag, and that's pretty much it. Oh, I've got that on there. So to the back burner. Well, actually, it's just going into a project box, and it'll be properly labeled and ready to be finished whenever I'm ready for it. So this is what my heart wants. You may have heard me hinting about the blue journal, and you might remember the blue masterboard tags and such that I did, and so I just have to go ahead with it. And this is another Louisa Heinzel inspired paperclip. I think they're adorable. And they're a little bit fiddly, but they're not really, and this one has BAM on it. It's not real, they're not really hard to make. It's a lot of fun, as were these tags with the birds on them. I just love that. And some of them, there's only a couple that are completely finished. I would say completely finished, these two. And see, I'll stamp something there. And so, while I cut the paper for the journal, how about I tell you a story? Now, this one's finished. And I just, I thought about this the other day and did something similar. And I don't know where it came from. Probably something I watched or whatever. But this will be the cover. This is an old graphic arts book, textbook. And it is 12 inches across and 8.5 tall. And so the paper will be 8 1/4. All right now, by 5 well, it'll be 10 1/2 this way. So while I cut this, let me tell you, Blunt Springs, Alabama. It's a sleepy little town north of Birmingham. But for really over 100 years, from about 1820 to 1930, it bustled with southern gentry, politicians, wealthy people of all sorts, governors, senators, you name it. And it was due to the springs in its name, which refers to all the mineral sulfur, springs are going through it, and to be found there. And the curative powers of the minerals attracted people because they were supposed to be good for your joints, your skin, all sorts of stuff. They even had a little bottling plant and bottled it in these blue bottles that the shards now could still be found. I don't know that, but supposedly they're supposed to be lucky, which I don't believe in luck, so I happen to have a piece of it. That might be why I don't believe in luck. Okay, now I said I was going to cut these down, didn't I? Okay, what did I say it was supposed to be? I cut it off. Okay, 8 1/4 tall. Okay, let's see. I may have already cut it too short. Yep. So these aren't going to work. And it's because I had to cut this off. Let's see. 10 1/2 this way. So it's not going to work at all. Well, that is a shame. I have scrapbook paper, but I didn't want to use it. What I may do, I've got a Reader's Digest, I think, left. What I may do is use it for my cover. Because I really want to use this paper. I got the Stamperia, or Stamperia blues. But they're just too, and they're really pretty. But the Stamperia blues, look at my camera, keeps dipping. Okay. And as you can see, they're really pretty, but I just didn't feel the grunge, you know. So the curative powers of the minerals attracted many to the springs there, and attracted this investors, of course, and by 1872, it had there was cabins and a hotel, and a nice big hotel by then. In the area, and in Blunt Springs, for people to stay and enjoy the stinky springs. I don't know if you've ever smelled sulfur or rotten eggs, but they smell the same. I don't know how they would drink it. I just don't know. I don't know. By 1872, a large hotel was there, and it'd been there a while, but it changed hands over to the Sloss brothers, and they're the ones that really brought it up to a higher standard, serving fine food. There was gambling. There was all sorts of entertainment. I saw one picture of a big, full orchestra playing on the front lawn of the hotel. And among some of the renowned visitors, probably the most famous was, well, although Davy Crockett had gone through there before anything much was there. And there is a historic marker there at the Springs telling you that. But Teddy Roosevelt, President Teddy Roosevelt, went for a little stay there. There was a famous, very famous actress of the day named Lillian Russell, singer-actress, and she was accompanied by Diamond Jim Brady, and she caused quite a little stir when she went sunbathing and was covered, and they used the term covered, so I take that to mean she was covered in chigger bites, and we also call them red bugs down here. I've got to run these back through for backs. So it took quite a lot of effort to to ease her pain and itching. Okay, so this is the setting. Blunt Springs is basically the setting for my story of Josie Martin and her journal that she brought with her when she left her home in Locust Fork, Alabama. And yes, there is a real town named Locust Fork. To come to Blunt Springs and work for Dr. Claude Griggs. Now, Josie was born to Sarah, I've got some notes because I knew I'd forget, to Sarah and Joseph Martin. Now, Joseph had been an accountant in Pennsylvania, and although he loved numbers, loved being loved accounting, he didn't love it that much. He wanted to be outside. He wanted to be in the sun and fresh air. And as something on the side, he'd been reading books on agriculture. And of course, there was a lot of opportunity in the South at that time because they'd kicked the indigenous people out. And so a lot of people were settling here, settling in Alabama and Georgia, to name two. And these are some that I have. This is why my fingers were blue, and still may be. And I've got to dye more, as I said. But anyway, so Joseph saved his money. And he was convinced that he could be successful at farming. So he saved his money, and at 23, the young age of 23, he headed south. And as he was passing through North Carolina, he was right there close to the border with Tennessee. And there were still a lot of Cherokees in that area. And there was a trading post owned by a Scotsman. And his name was Nathan McKinney. And his wife was Elu. And that means beautiful in the Cherokee language. Well, they had a lovely, lovely daughter named Sarah. And Joseph was immediately taken with her because that beautiful black hair, dark complexion, dark eyes. So he ended up staying a little bit longer than he had expected to. And by the time he left for Alabama, Sarah was his wife. And she was going with him. So Joseph and Sarah settled on about 120 acres near the blip of a town, pretty much just a post office, called Aniana in Blount County, on the fork of the Black Warrior, known as Locust Fork. So that's how it got its name. It was one of the forks. Black Warrior forks in two different directions, and Locust Fork was the one they settled next to. And it's rich, rich farmland, and it's nestled between Sand Mountain and Straight Mountain. It's a valley nestled between two mountains. So the couple built their homestead and began their family, having first one daughter, then two, then three, and finally by the fifth pregnancy, Joseph was sure it would be a boy that he could name Joseph Emmanuel Martin Jr. And what do you think? That's when Josie came along. So he did not get his boy, but he was determined that he would be a name similar. So she was named Josie Emanuela Martin. And it's funny, but the next one was a boy. So there were 8 in all. And after Josie, there were 2 boys and then another girl, and then it was over. So that is the beginning of my little story that will accompany, hopefully will accompany the blue journal. And here you see some of the papers that I have ready for it. So I think I've got some fabric, but I'm really not wild about it. Any of it. As being the cover for my book, my journal. So, although this would be perfect as far as the thickness and sturdiness and feel, but I think something like that would be prettier. This is Tim Holtz paper, but I think that's kind of what I'm looking for, a look like that. So, it's a beautiful day, and I'm going to get myself ready and go to Joann's, which is a fabric store here, a large fabric chain, and see about finding some fabric. And I will let you in on it and show it to you next time. So stay tuned, and we might find out more about Josie, or I may just keep the rest a secret until it's all finished. But we will definitely work on the Josie Martin. Okay? So thanks for joining me. Please give me a thumbs up if you feel inclined. Subscribe if you haven't already. And please take care and stay well. Hugs and kisses until we meet again. Bye.